Do you remember when we were kids? When the days stretched out like treasure maps before us, and we wore our hope like talismans around our neck? Do you remember the frosty mornings when I'd sneak into your bed, just as the day began to peek its prying fingers through the gaps in your curtains? I'd pretend I was trying to wake you so we could disappear on one of our adventures. When really, I just loved the way you lace your fingers through mine and swallow me into the drowsy warmth of your sheets. Though I act as if it was the grossest thing in the world. Do you remember that spring? We tried to plant our apricot stones, and they grew into an enchanted forest right there in our backyard. Do you remember how the branches would tremble as the wind wove her secrets into their outstretched leaves? How we'd press our ears to the trunks to hear the whispering of a wisdom we weren't yet young enough to understand. Do you remember how we'd spend hours folding our hope into kites so we could sail them from the treetops? And you said you could feel the freedom in your lungs before you'd even inhaled, and the sky poured out her life into our outstretched arms, and our childhood rang so loud in our blood it was as though nothing could ever touch us. Do you remember that autumn, when the colours seemed to fall from your face like leaves? When your kite string snapped and your bed became a prison you could barely bring yourself to rise from? And the days came, again and again and again and again, to sit crushingly on your chest until you had to fight for breath. Do you remember how you took too many sleeping pills? How we came home from school to find an ambulance sitting on the street, so out of place beneath those enchanted trees where I swear I can still hear the trickle of your laughter dancing through the leaves. Do you remember how much you hated hospital food? How we'd sit in your room and joke about how we were going to break you out of the closed ward? And really, I was just terrified by how pale your skin was. By the tiny scars you'd always tried so hard to hide, now glaring like red crayon on the paper-thin frames of your wrists. You face your adventures on your own now. And it's no longer a game. You're fighting beasts far more fierce, in forests far more wild, and deserts far more lonely than any we traversed in our childish play. But though I no longer believed what I one day wished, that I could defeat your demons and bring you back from this abyss, I will still sit by your bed for as long as it takes. And I will not stop reminding you of the way the sun used to feel on your face as we danced through sprinklers or battled mighty dragons or built whole cities out of sand. I'll remind you how we used to clutch our childhood in tightly balled fists as if it were the most precious thing in the world. Until, maybe one day, you'll remember what it felt like to have hope. And at last, you come home.